Okie doke. I am now live again. Hi, Eddie. Eddie, is the sound okay now? Is there any static still? Hi, Orange Town. Where'd everybody go? Sound. Okay. Okay. Can you hear the sound all right, Eddie? Okay. Sound is great. Okay, good. All right. Okay. I'm going to sign it up. Okay, good. All right. There's no static. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Well, it just needed a. Hi, Hotsy. How you doing? Okay, good. We got the sound back. All right. I don't know what happens. Okay. Now everybody. Okay. Don't tell Bill there's static. Sort of like a loud whisper from Homer Simpson. Don't tell him that. We'll get it started. Okay. Hi, Javier Forbin. No sizzling bacon. All right. Hello, everybody. Okay, let me just do it en masse. Hello, everybody. All right. So let's see, where were we? Okay. We were talking about other options, and some of the options, um, huh. Okay. All right. Don't mess with a purist, Eddie. Okay, good. Geezer, good to see you again. All right. Hey, Kaz, how are you? Yeah, it was. Now I got two. All right, UK officially has more COVID-related deaths than Italy now. Man, that's not good. Yeah, the US is. They've got these. I don't know, man. I'm glad I live out in the sticks. It's crazy. Okay, yeah. I hope everyone else is doing well. All right. Hey, flippin' Zippo and dog. Hey. Okay. All right. Well, we're back now. Okay, so we had talked about a couple of these things. Now, the thing of it is that last time, forgot who it was, but they said, why don't you do this? Contact Aganor and say, all right, what would it cost us with if we got 5 or 10 or 15, something like that. And so I did, and I'm waiting to hear back. I also sent him a copy of this just to to get an idea. This we just want a simple three-hander, and I also sent him this is suggesting, hey, maybe you could jury rig something out of the one of your existing movements, and we could have something like that. So anyway, so how do you feel about having something really different like this? It was somebody with some kind of design skills that I'm not, but just sort of the general idea, which is the same as the hour here, the hour there by Van Cleve and Arpels, that by our that one. Now they can't give us that one, and because they have integrity, it's like let me. Oh boy. Okay. Did you ever figure out the French case maker? Yeah. Um, NS something gave it to me, so we're all set. And then also Kaz gave me another one, so I'm sort of doubled up on that. Now, one of the things that NS something said, I think it was important, was that they wouldn't have the. Hang on a second, I wrote it down. Satoy and Ballard, I guess is their name. Uh, they would not have a problem with what's the name of it? Okay, yeah, uh, Sartori and Ballard. Okay, Sartori and Ballard's the name of it. They wouldn't have a problem with the case. On the other hand, man, I tell you, I really like the looks of the cases that Voot and Lannon and Kalen have. part of this is that if we have a watch, we get the movement by Agenor, something like that, and we have the case by Voutilanen and Kanglen. Man, I tell you, just those two together, I think has sort of a certain sense to it that is very powerful. Nothing wrong with Sartori and Ballard. It's just another thing. Okay. That design would be amazing from Sartori. Okay, he can make the case, the minutes track, the dial, etc. He could even make custom cases. Okay, that would be something we can take a look at. Okay. Um, okay. Um, all right. So these are things. So he hasn't gotten back to me yet, but if he got back, here are a couple possibilities. Okay, if we had enough people who wanted them, maybe some could get one with a retrograde, and some could get one with a three hand. If they're reasonably priced, and by reasonable, like something around $2,000 or something, you get both if we wanted them. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see. All right. Now the other options we still have. I was looking at Mark N put together this little video of the Rolf Lang uh, Canaletto watch that he just put it together before he sent it to the onto the next guy. And I was looking at that, and man, that's a beautiful movement. Here you've got this handmade movement. And so it's like, well, we got nothing but good options as far as I can see. And I still like the UWD 33.2. So, it's not like these guys are nothing, just like it's not Voutilanen and Kalen and nothing. Okay. Now that we have the Sartori and Sartori Ballard. Okay, I could add some watchmaker's finish to the movements, also known as screwdriver scratching. Yeah. All right. Okie doke. Hi, Hamid. How are you? Hey, how are things in Tehran? You guys have the any better luck than we are with this COVID-19? Okay. It's all about making a second wave as minor as possible. Yeah. Which mark is that? Corner mark or okay mark? Boy, oh, that's boy. Oh, oh, yeah. Sorry, sorry, Mark J. Nah, here's messed up too. Oh, how much? Welcome to the world. Oh, geez. Okay. Hey, underachiever, how you doing, man? Um, okay, so we have these options, and like I said, if we if we really strive to have something that look like that, I think it would defeat the purpose. Okay, we want to do something original. Um, this was where my incentive. Somebody sent me the exact right way to pronounce this watch in French, and I'm going to write it down here because I keep forgetting what it was. But it's Dur DC et Dur and something else. That's as close as I can get. Okay. In his Instagram, SB even has custom cushion style cases. It might be neat. A custom cushion style, a lot of the cushions look something like the Laurent Perrier squares, Galley squares, which are nice looking watch too. Something else we can think about. Hi, Blake. That looks like a Cartier Pasha. All right. The movement video was posted on High Horology Lounge. Yeah, Mark had it on our secret place, and he had moved over to High Horology Lounge. All right. So I got a thing. Boy, I tell you, I keep getting this stuff from Rolf Lang that is about all of these new things that he's planning. And he shows me all of this stuff and really neat stuff. And I said, "Oh boy, can I put that?" No, it doesn't let me do it. Uh, but it's like really expensive and really nice. So nice, I like; expensive, I don't. All right, bear with that. The movement, yeah, okay. He also makes some of the titanium dials, the texture, kind of like Sarpaneva. The number of folks buying into the project will lessen if you go to a one-hand design like that. Well, that might not be a bad thing, Forbin. This is something to have fun with, not, you know, if we can have more than one movement, so what? Someone could that would work out. Now it might be a little more difficult on a couple of other things, but what the heck? Hi, Lee. It's like I don't know. I was looking at Crador watches today. It's going to do a little thing on Crador, and um, I don't know. That's sort of a hard one. I think I did find something in Crador that may be a real gem. I have that in a little vest pocket video. There's some interesting things about that, about sort of the whole phenomena of Crador in the context of Seiko and Grand Seiko and that whole thing. Okay. Well, take care of you, Blake. If it ends up not happening, I'm kind of considering getting a UWD and getting it shipped to SB. Where's SB? Crador is a little too much. Yeah, Hamid. That's the thing, though. If you take a look at Chrono 24 and you cut out the quartz ones just for the automatic and the hand wound, what you'll find is some really good buys on some of the older ones. Now, I don't know if the older ones have the same quality as like the Ichi has, but the Ichi's $42,000 for a spring drive, which I've already made my opinion of the spring drive, like sort of a glorified quartz. And they talk about, well, they got it's accurate up to 15 seconds a month or something like that. And that's really good. I mean, that's a great. Uh, I wonder if it's as good as my 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 iPhone. This is what's so crazy is that, oh, we're going to spend all of this time and resources on something that is going to be more accurate. I'd rather have something with a remontoire d'égalité that is trying to make a straight mechanical movement more accurate rather than trying to figure out a different way like solar or automatic or which is essentially a spring drive zapping through generating a current of electricity. So, oh, do they? Okay. Well, I saw some that looked possibly interesting. Hey, level 11, you missed all of this stuff. Man, I tell you this, I don't know where that naked girl who ran behind me came from, but sorry you missed it, level 11. Okay, I still the best quartz FP yarn. Yeah, I agree, Blake. Okay, hi, Hamid. See, that's a good transition to question whether Seiko have chosen a good path for dealing with prices. Are Seiko trying to push themselves to the well, I think they're already there on a lot of levels, tell you the truth. And I don't know, man. I tell you, they're the Grand Seiko fans who love the spring drive. And I was taking a look at the on lodge on the Crador today, and they've got it's really nice, but it's sort of like you know shining up an electric motor in one respect. Uh there's always next time. There you go, level 11. Next time, I don't know. I understand they're going to have they're going to hang a horse next time, right? Stuff happens back there. I have no control over. I agree. It's certainly the most useful, quirky, and elegant. Yeah, they're an interesting thing. I was going to talk about it. The Sia Eddie. Um, so anyway, it's some stuff we can knock around. Okay, well, listen. I hope. Oh, by the way, Opium is really cool. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, I gotta tell you, Opium is doing it right. They got a really good movement, really good. They just took a bunch of good pieces. The only thing that is okay but not good is that teletime movement. It's not a bad movement. All right. The thing I like, and I wish they would bring the price down. Have you seen that the the rotor on the original Abraham Abraham Louis Breguet watch when he was, the early automatics, and he had something that looked like a the pendulum from a telltale heart. And I forgot what they call it. They have a name for it. But anyway, they put it on the tradition. Just really some cool stuff, and it looks exactly like something that Abraham Louis Breguet would do. But the one I went to in New York City on Fifth Avenue, they wanted 39,000. Now you can get them for a lot less than that. But yeah, what are they thinking? I don't know. Would you assume the Vacheron Constantin overseas 45V is a good watch? It doesn't hack and it's too shocking to me. 4500V, I'm not sure which one that is, Hamid. I, in fact, I don't even remember what mine was. The one, to me, the overseas really began in a new way, with a really fantastic way, with the 5100 movement that came out in 2016. That movement is from the ground up was made for that watch. And so if anybody asked me, that's what I'd say. As for the 4400 that they have in just about everything else, it seems, everything that they have hand wound is at 4400. Another excellent movement, but takes a long time to wind up. Of course, the watch you're holding is awfully nice, so it's not so bad winding up a Vacheron Constantin with one of those movements. Hmm. Uh, the steel three-hander, simple one. Hamed, I'm not. It has a date too, right? Okay. Apropos of today, how about a crackle finish dial? Hey, I that reminds me, it's Cinco de Mayo. I normally I would celebrate with a lime and a Corona. But today we got we got a face mask and coronavirus. So, and it's Taco Tuesday. I mean, everything, all of the good things happening on one day, except okay, hacking isn't necessary. No, Hamid, let me tell you about hacking. Rethink hacking. Most Patek Philippe's do not have hacking. I don't like hacking because it goes against sort of certain things that are going on in your watch. Now, on the other hand, I do have some excellent watches with hacking, but it's more because I like the watches, everything else about them, rather than the hacking part. Yeah, the 5100. That's the one, man. That thing is wonderful. Hey, Blake, off you go. Well, listen. Well, sorry about the mishap we had with the crackling video or the crackling this. I guess it was a combination of the ceiling fan, my crackling phone. Now, if it's still crackling and you guys have said, "Hey, don't tell them," it's okay. Hey, crappy. Um, please explain why you don't like hacking. It goes against what? Well, hacking. Have you ever seen Val? Have you ever seen how hacking works? And wham, here's your balance wheel, and then so you got something that literally comes down. You know how a brake on those, you ever seen a brake on an old cover wagon or any kind of, or like on a stagecoach, they come into town and they have a big clamp that goes down on the wheel. That's what happens with hacking. Um, Now, watches that I really like on the one that we've been passing around, the Rolf Lang, they call it a stop second, okay? And but they still have some kind of interference with the balance. And the engineers at one time at Patek Philippe told the head of Patek Philippe, in the long term, it's not a good thing. And hacking, I don't know. I guess that they probably improved it a lot, and they have things that aren't as interfering. And my best watches have hacking. My FP Journes don't have hacking, though. So it's something that is, uh, I can take it or leave it. What am I gonna do? Okay, let's all right, men, let's synchronize our watches. You gotta. I call synchronize it with my iPhone. It's one of those things that I understand why it's important, because the whole concept of good timekeeping and coordination, things like that, that as an ideal. But we can do that so much better with our phones have a countdown mechanism and so forth. But stupid Fitbit of mine has all of those things, but I don't look for it except for anything except tell me how far I've walked and how much exercise I got. So, yeah, it's hard on the balance. Yeah, stop seconds is perfectly fine if the movement is designed properly. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, this is what it still bothers me. It's. I think there's another mechanism that doesn't go to the balance wheel, but the ones that I've seen is they just clamp on the balance wheel like a brake on a stagecoach. And there's something about that that just sort of little rankling me. And apparently, some of the engineers at Patek Philippe, and that's why most Patek Philippe's don't have hacking. I don't care about hacking. It's like moon phases. There- that's yeah. I I like moon phases for decorations, and that's it, because I don't have the patience for a moon phase. I mean, it's like watching the paint dry or something. It just, I do that. Oh, A Longa have hacking. Well, don't blame it on me. I didn't tell him to do it, Bruce. I think it was your idea, Bruce. And that's how, if something happens to your A Longa, uh, Mark has this beautiful A Longa, really a nice one that I was looking at the other day. I think is a Saxonia mark, something like that. Gorgeous watch. Hey, Burning Mr. B, is VC still part of the Holy Trinity? Oh yeah, ALS. No, I don't think so. Um, ALS. See, what happened is that ALS, I think, lost a lot of its innovation once it became part of Richemont. Richemont wants to make money. And so innovation means spending money and maybe developing things that nobody wants to buy. So they, I don't know. They used to be, this friend of mine who's a former judge for the Grand Prix was, he when we first met, man, everything he said, they make the best watches anywhere. Them, yeah, yeah, yeah. Went on and on about A Longa, and after a while, he said, they're not doing anything new, and so it was sort of changed my mind. Now, one watch they have that is just spectacular is the Datograph. That one is, I mean, that one is really remarkable, but they're not doing new things like that. I think that's what bothered them. Your Saxonia doesn't hack. Hey. Okay. Wait a minute. NS something just said that the Holy Trinity is a made-up concept. Oh my God. Home Alone. Oh, you shouldn't be. And next, you're going to say there's no Easter Bunny. Okay. I was talking to a very esteemed watchmaker today. He told me that a good decoration helps movement to work better and smoother. He was trying to say decorated movements have better rates. It's weird. Well, Hamid, that may be true in this respect because you have a better watchmaker working on it. But I don't know if that would be totally true because of it's decorated. It's just probably a better watchmaker. Unless you are about to coordinate with a World War One style artillery bombardment and infantry attack, precision's irrelevant. Oh man, I tell you, I, I think I have too many Swedish genes because I've always been obsessed about time. I love it. I mean, I like to be on time everywhere, and that's what bothers me if I'm ever late here. But I've loosened up over the years about it. It's sort of like, especially on Cinco de Mayo. Take it easy, have some fun. Um, hey, GMT master, no snoring. Okay, and the Zeitwerk is enough one. Yeah, that's another one. The Zeitwerk and the Datograph. I think it's called the Datograph. Those are those are really nice watches. But they've been around for a while now. Okay, so you only need one hand. Yeah, I like that. Should do it with one hand. You talk about minimalism. This will out Bauhaus a Nomos. Anyway, well, we can talk about this. Well, listen, there's not much we can do. Um, okay, what am I wearing? I don't do this Archie thing about retweet chick. Uh, I'll let you guys discover it on your own. Okay, this is Harry Winston. It does have the by retrograde, and it's called the Harry Winston Premier by retrograde. Okay, what do you think about Urek? Hmm. Some I like, some I don't, Blake. I mean, it's. I think they have. I think they have skill in there. I don't know if they have design though that I like anyway. But that's me. I like the Breguet tradition. It looks like something that Abraham Louis Breguet would make. Whether that's just sort of what I like. I like Longa, but feel that they have been kind of uh, tailing off a bit over the last 2 3 years. Yeah, Geezer, that I think hits the nail on the head. I mean, they're wonderful watches, and I love the Saxonia. And there's another one they have called the 18 something or other that I like too. Hi, Joe. Charles Forsham watches. Yeah, those are really nice watches, Joe. Those are nice ones. I think the new complication. Yeah, you know what? They have a chain and fusee and chain, a longa. They had some other ones, but I've seen their line has really shrunk. And I think that's Richemont saying, look, you aren't selling these things. And, I know the watchmakers are having a lot of fun playing around with these new gizmos, but that's costing us a lot of money and development time. So I think that may be what happened, but I'm not sure. Urek is very gimmicky. They're completely fallen in the design department. Yeah, that's but that's they may be really good at gimmickry though. Markin, I understand the sentiment. I thought it would bother me and agonize over for a year. Now my first two-hander, and I don't care anymore. Good for you. You know, we'll be we'll become I keep mentioning the soul of a new machine, and by the time the guy was finished working with nanoseconds, he said he didn't want any measures greater than a season, and sometimes that's the way I feel. The other thing too, this whole pandemic has led to every day being the same, and so people have been losing track of days, like, what day is it? You know, what month is it? Where am I? That's that's rough, and I know for a lot of people, they've been out of a job, and that's terrible, and, but man, I tell you, oh, the count is, I think it's gonna hit the center of the country pretty hard. We are nearing our peak, I think, here in Connecticut, and we got together with four other states. I think New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, and we're sort of they have sort of doing something all together. Of course, those four states together are about the size of a county in Texas, so ALS should pull a JLC and put something cool in the cheaper model. I agree. I think it's a great idea. See, I how they do it though, I think is important. I think the Vacheron Constantin going with the 56 with the Val Fourier movement, for some reason, I don't think that's the way to go. I it's like, and believe me, that could happen with A Longa because they're owned by Richemont, who owns A Longa, and they're looking ways to cut corners. Hi now, Shed. Uh, I guess their attempt of that was through steel Odysseys, possibly. Yeah, I we hey, yeah, we hope things will get better too, but there's I hope everything in the world gets better because we're all connected. This is, somehow people act as though, well, there's a border there, and let those Canadians come south of that border and we're in big trouble, which is and the virus, I don't need a stinking border. The virus is going every which way. Uh, yeah, I know. Okay. So it's now LVM H. Okay, Blake, what is LVMH? The rest was the way to go because VC has a history of third party. Yeah, it is, but it was, I agree with that, but it also has a history of really equality movements. And I don't know, they've got, when you look at the 56, the bottom ones are what, 11,000 or something like that, which is not cheap. All right, and to me, that's but the movement, I doubt justifies even that price. The only way they can charge that price is because of the name. And then just one little tick up in the 56 line, and you have these totally in-house movements. And when Vesser and Constantin, and they show this with the 5100 and the 4400, when they sit down and do their own movements from soup to nuts, they have some really great movements. On the other hand, when they start, I don't want to use that, it's a slippery slope, but I don't know. I have no problem with Vesser than one they developed themselves, and but they're not exactly open about that. And then when they're talking about that Val Fourier thing, oh, they go on and Vasseron Constantin does all of this stuff, and they do a dance. I don't know what they do, but if you're going to have they have this mindset, and the mindset goes like this: if we lower our prices, it's going to make us look cheaper. The thing is, if you can sell 10 times more by a lower price, you're going to up your bottom line. And so I think this is what they're playing with a lot. Probably, some really inexpensive quartz watch probably makes, sell more and make more. There's some watchmaker in China, in fact, it's probably Siegel, that makes more movements than any other place in the world. I mean, and you look at the watches, and they all have that movement. If my makes the Ophium movements. MY. Okay. Yeah, I know it. Blake, I know LVMH. Yeah, I know they do. But the question was, is that it sounded like somebody they just grabbed another brand. I know they have like Bulgari, and Bulgari is the question I had. Are they, where is their? Well, they also own Les. I think it's called Les Fabriques du Temps. They own that. And so that to me is one of their movement makers. And but then there's Zenith and Defy Labs and all of that. So when you say LVMH, they've got so much talent in terms of movement making within their stable that so well, and that's something. Maybe you're right about the Val Fleurier. It's just the if you think this is where we may disagree, okay? I think they did it as an economy move as opposed to really making a great movement. And I think that when you look at the 5100 and everything that Vacheron Constantin did with that, it's really amazing. Same with the 4400. The very first review, or not the very first, but one of the first reviews of the 21, which was the first one to have the 4400, was by Kerry Wooten-Lonnen. And he was going on and talking about why the movement was so good, and it was a funny kind of thing. It wasn't like a paid endorsement. It was he was fooling around over there, and so he was interviewed by somebody, and so that's what he was talking about the thing. The other thing that he mentioned during that same review was, oh, hey, by the way, this is really well designed for service, so it's easy to service too. So things like that, and so I don't know. I guess I'm a little suspicious of that. Maybe I'm just because I'm an old cynic. Hey, Kraus, FP Journe, I believe, sold some shares to the Chanel family. Yeah, it was like 10% of it they sold to Chanel. Um, just talking about one hand movements, I gave my daughter a Christopher Ward now discontinued jumping hour today, and she is totally over the moon with it. I like Christopher Ward. They got a lot of interesting stuff. I don't have a jumping hour, and I'd like one. So that's something else, another check mark for collectors to do. Non-controlling state, yeah. What Geezer? I think this is FP Journe's shot at immortality. His son wasn't too interested in watchmaking, and I think he's a pilot now. And I don't know what his other kids are doing, but you know. On the other hand, take a look at Jean-Marc Viderec. He has two sons, Nicholas and forgot Nicholas's brother's name. Both of them are really into watchmaking. Or you take Gronfeld. Their father was a watchmaker, and they both got into it. Sort of cool. Well, um, and that's something that's a little more complicated than that. Yeah, opium is the soprod they have is took they have the rights to the now defunct Teletime, and they took a Telefine. Then they took that company we were talking about that Festina owns, and supposedly Soprod is part of Soprod, and they use all of the nanotechnology and the computers, and they're working a way they can make parts or anything else for them. That's what's at the heart of the one in the Ophion, which I think is really cool. And you're right, it's Soprod, but it's not. I mean, Soprod, Soprod is really funny because some of the Soprod movements, I had always thought that Soprod was simply a way to make cheap ETAs, but it's not. It's quite the opposite. They do all kinds of interesting stuff. And this was also before Festina bought them. The Soprod A10 is a was Seiko's attempt to get into high horology with their 4L line, but it fell flat on its face because Seiko buyers couldn't handle a higher price. A lot of different things like that. Anyway, I don't mean to sound like a blowhard, but I am. Okay. I thought it was LVMH. Sorry, that's okay. Um, Barrel and Blue. Should I sell my Rolex 16500 Daytona or hold it? If you like it, hold it. If you're tired of it, sell it. That would be my advice. Of course, it is for economic reason, but the VF movement is not bad. Yeah, and that's something you're right about that. It's not, but neither is a lot of the ETA movements. I love the ETA Unitas 6497 and 98, sort of the 7001 Pazoo, and the Valju 7750. They're all ETA. They're not horrible. Um, and and I would agree too that some of the ETA movements are better than certain efforts to have an in-house movement. So, but that's if you do it because you want to have something really great. You take a guy like well, take for instance Rolf Lang. He's a terrible businessman. I love the guy, but he he's so dedicated to making beautiful watches and movements and things like that. There's this guy in China who's one of the AHCI guys. He's one of the independent watchmakers. This guy just blows my mind. He goes out on his lunch break and makes a new movement. Or look at all of the movements that Marco Lang made with when he was with Lang and Hine. They've got like I don't know 8 or 9 movements now, and it's not that. Whereas some of these big companies, well, it costs us €1.5 million to develop a new movement. They're probably right because what they're including is all the machinery and everything else to go about making it. You got an independent watchmaker, and it's hiring some kids to help with the on laws. Whoa, 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 whoa! It looks like Chanel will be part of LVMH in the future. Blake, how do you see that? That would be interesting, which would mean LVMH would be own a piece of. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, LVMH does not equate MHVJ. Uh, MHVJ is the one with all the little robots making movement parts for everyone. Blake, um, I think he will. I think really all the great watchmakers, that's exactly what they become. Is a page in horological history. Um, Sometimes, like the Groenfelds, you have the father and sons with the Langs. You have Rolf Lang, his son Marco Lang, making incredible watches, and Rolf's father was also a watchmaker. They come from a on the German side. You know, it's like, are they quite the same? I don't know. Hi Riza, how you doing? We're going on. I'm going on like some old lady over a fence. VC56 got screwed over. Do marketing guys making decisions instead of watchmakers. Yeah, Karis, that's probably where most of those decisions are made. The guy who's the top watchmaker at Vessron Constantin, I forgot what his name is. I've met the guy a few times, and he's really totally dedicated. I mean, he's like a real watchmaker. And who was the gal who was the head of Cartier watchmaking? She was the same, and she also comes from a watchmaking family. She's got one of those double last names. I forgot her name, but I mean, she's tremendous. 1326. Yeah, I don't know the bad ones. We forgot the bad ones, Blake. Listen, guys, even with the uh, hi Howard, Carol Forrester Kappas Kasparov. Yes, that's thank you, Howard. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, she comes from a watchmaking family too. Most people don't recognize her, and she's done more for Cartier, but still, you got some marketing guys in there say, "Hey, look, we can slip an ETA in here. No one's going to know because they don't ask. It's Cartier, which is a shame because boy, she really turned a lot of things around. One of the ones I think she did was Caliber de Cartier, and she may have been responsible for the movement that went into the Valfleury, Vacheron Constantin, and the Piaget, because that thing originated, I think, over in Cartier. I could be wrong, but that was sort of the tea leaves as I read them. Oh, I know, but the Quadrille is such a wonderful watch. That I love that watch. I don't know why it didn't sell well. Everything about that watch is neat. I When I went down to get my 2016 when they first came out down at the boutique in New York, uh, I went in there and I tried on the overseas. And it looked okay, and then she said, "Well, take a look at this one. It was new at the time, and it had the same movement. I think the only difference was that the overseas has a gold rotor, and the Quadrille had a ruthenium or something like that, a rotor. I love the looks of it even better, and I still may get that watch. But that's man, I tell you, I love that watch. But you're right in that something didn't sell well, and that's so two ways to look at that. They're better deals for the collectors, or they're going to probably go the same way as a Gondolo and some of the other ones that they've canceled. People are snobs. They see a cheap watch from a brand and dismiss it, especially hype dealers and enthusiasts. Yeah, that's to me that's a big mistake because if they do that, this is why I have my 736 collection. I've got this one, the Dunhill, and another one I'm sort of vulturing on right now, and pretty soon I'll add to that collection because it is a super cool movement, and I'm not sure about exactly the origin because it came up right before oh, what's his name? I think it was Jean Paul Jacquet had to go to the big house because of not doing the right thing. Okay, well, fellow snobs, we'll, we'll see you tomorrow. I hope to hear as soon as I hear from Nicholas Vitarek, I'll let you know any new ideas or anything else come up. Even uh, where's Mark? Mark went to his corner. I don't know. Anyway, take care. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I know it's Seis de Mayo in some places, but take care.